People, what is up? How's it going? We're here to hang out with you. I don't know. I was gonna say something else. I can't remember. I will never get good at doing these intros, and you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that I found in myself to just be completely shitty. But Alan, hello there. Thank you for being here, good sir. What is up?
Not much. I've been obsessed. This game just dropped on Game Pass. Weird West. I've been playing that for like the last 3-4 days, just straight.
Weird
it is
West.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, look it up. It's on Game Pass. Game Pass. Honestly, everyone should pick up Game Pass. It's fucking awesome. But basically, it's a Devolver Digital. I can't remember who the developer is. But it's just this kind of isometric, almost Diablo style game where you're playing like with Wild West weapons, but there's also like weird magic in there, and it's you're going around all these different areas doing bounties. It's an open world game, but there's like pretty compelling story, and then you have all these little things in there. You play the Mordor games, right?
Actually, no, but I've seen so much gameplay out of those. I feel like I already did, but yeah.
Yeah. There's this thing in the Mordor games called the Nemesis system, where basically if you're fighting somebody and they run away, they'll come after you and be like, "Hey, you fucked me up," yada yada yada. There's something similar in this game where you go after a bounty and then you'll kill the leader of the gang, and sometimes people just scatter. Sometimes people will stick around, but other people will just scatter. And then they'll be like vendetta, and then they'll come back later on while you're doing some other random bullshit. You go, "You killed my leader. I'm gonna come fuck you up," type shit. Or you'll save somebody from captivity and be like friend for life. And if you're like in a fucked up situation, they'll just come rushing in and help you out. And it's a lot of fun. And you got me really thinking, I really love Wild West games.
Which is kind of weird. I feel like you're definitely not the audience for that, but then maybe you are because you like so many of these,
Yeah, because I mean, the Call of Juarez games, the first two are fantastic. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. There's this random game on 360 called Gun that I enjoyed most of it. Like, I like the Wild West aesthetic because I like the slow. Everything is single shot. You don't have big assault rifles unless you pull a Gatling gun out of nowhere. But like everything's single shots, so everything kind of feels like you have to be very careful with your shots. Reloading takes forever, and everyone else, it feels balanced. Like if it's something Call of Duty, it's like, well, hide behind a rock and hope to run out of ammo. With this, it's like, oh, they missed a shot. Okay, that was my chance to actually do something. And it has like Max Payne diving in slow motion, so it's a lot of fucking fun. I really.
Oh yeah, you like your slow motion. I forgot about that.
I fucking
like
love slow motion.
Yeah,
there's legitimately midway through the 660, that was my favorite genre of video games because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I actually kind of hate that shit, but like at the same time, I see where you're coming from.
There's nothing cooler than having a shotgun jumping in slow motion as you take out an entire platoon of people, man.
I think it's different, but I mean, I wouldn't say good, but I mean, that's why we all have our different opinions on things, and yeah, like that's kind of cool though that like that never really went away. Like that kind of, I mean, it went away as far as like really huge games, but like even Bulletstorm did a lot with that shit. And God, there was another game that came out like 3 or 4 years ago that had a lot of that stuff in there too, and I forgot what the fuck it was. But I
didn't like Bulletstorm that much. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just that the Darkness 2 came out around the same time, and it did it way better. Because the entire thing of Bulletstorm was, shooters are boring because they're all military shooters. So let's be the fun shooter with wacky abilities. The problem is, shooting your gun regularly is more efficient than using the powers. So I was like, why would I ever need to use half the abilities when just shooting the gun solves my problems? That's why I liked Darkness 2, where it's so difficult, you actually need to use all your powers to survive a situation. So like, they made it essential to gameplay as opposed to just do it if you feel like it.
Exactly, yeah. But really quick, I'm going to say what's up to the chat really quick. There's not a lot of people here. So hopefully if you guys are not getting like the information or notification as far as what's going on, then make sure to let me know if that's the case, which you can't right now because you're probably not fucking here. But I know that Black Knight's in the chat saying, yo to you too, good sir. I know it's a very, very late show because of Corey starting very late. And the reason why we didn't do a pre-show like 45 minutes prior to when he starts is because I don't know if he's going to be even later than 10. Because he said 10, but knowing Corey, it's like whatever he says plus 30. So it's like literally, dude, like in the next like 45 minutes, that would be normally when I'm ready to go to sleep. Like it's like as soon as I end the show, I go eat something and I call Jed. I'm like, hey, let's chill for a second, and then I fall asleep. So I'm gonna be probably streaming into my sleep time tonight. Well, it was not the worst thing ever, but it's just kind of like I can't expect people to be watching this fucking late, man. Like it is late as hell.
There'll be a couple people. It's what day is it? Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah. So usually they do the weekly roast and toast on Tuesday, which is worth people staying up for so late to see Billy's fucking crazy, like, wow, all the crazy shit they can talk about.
Yeah.
But because of this screening of Ambulance, now you know what Ambulance is, right? That Michael Bay movie.
The more I see it, the more I want to watch it. Like at first I was like, oh god, Michael Bay, but then I'm like, this just looks fun. I like Six Underground. I like his last movie. It was really good. Let's do it again. Fuck it.
Well, you're gonna be taken out by your buddies by Thursday. Oh, actually, we need to talk about that because we have a prior engagement. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. For Thursday.
No idea. What's up?
Well, I'll tell you after the show. But just remember, like, prior engagement, like the thing we do once a month.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we have to figure that out. But I will say that if something happens and you change that, you might want to wait till Friday so you can watch both Sonic 2 and Ambulance. Because, man, that'd be a great next to each other, like two really good movies. Like
so I think tomorrow I won't be on the show because I think I'm getting it. They're having advanced seeings of Sonic.
Oh, what? On Wednesday?
Yeah, on Wednesday. I didn't even know. My buddy called me up. He's like, you want to watch Sonic Wednesday? I'm like, can we? And
yeah, that's fucking awesome. So. Yeah, I'm going to see if that's happening over here where I live too, but I highly doubt it. We're lucky enough to get the Thursday screenings, so we'll see.
Yeah, because Thursday's normal. Like, one day before is always normal. Like 2 days before, I'm like, shit. I'll say, don't worry, I won't say anything to no one.
That really means, though, by the way, that like Sonic must be the shit. Because I already saw a bootleg. I watched like a couple minutes of it, but it was already on the interwebs. So the fact that like it's just so easily screenable or stealable or whatever.
20 minutes longer, they're like, you know what, we got something.
Yeah, exactly. Marissa Sam seeing with my friends on Friday. Nice, dude. That's badass. So yeah, man. Hopefully we get to talk about it in the after hours on Saturday. We can all shoot the shit about it. I'm probably not going to do a review for it until Sunday. Now, Ambulance, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that movie because I got a lot of shit going on, and I don't know if I can afford it right now. But like, we'll see, man.
Definitely Sonic. Good, probably Sunday's a good time because then by that most people have seen it. And Gene's in the chat.
Gene, what's out there? Gene Jeter TV. Remember when I called him Gene TV that one time? We're all like, what the fuck?
Even Gene was like, the fuck are you talking about?
I know, yeah, it was strange. Oh, we just barely saw our notification over there on the Discord. So yeah, I guess something is probably odd with notifications today. But Gene, how's it going, good sir? How's it going, good sir? I don't know why I started barking at him, but I've always wanted to bark on the live stream. And then, like, technically, with the ads are again right now, I just got paid about 10 cents to bark, so that feels good. And he says, put some respect on my name, Nico. Thank you, I shall. If I make a book, though, I'll give him a fucking crazy-ass name.
Oh, God.
Because he called me, I'm in his book with a very interesting name. Oh, no, he changed it. I actually kind of like the first name he gave me because it was kind of silly, but he gave me another name that is actually way more, Iconic? Yeah, get it, like, iconic.
Are you a pop singer?
Possibly, but iconic. Get it? Like, I like that.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Like,
it's your pop star name.
Yeah, work with models. Ooh, my hand's gonna be all over that ass. Anyways, okay, this
is what happens when Jet's not around.
No shit. Hey, Jet, I'd be. No, I don't do nothing.
Don't do that.
I know. I just wanna like poke at Jet and see if she comes in the chat and fucks with me or whatever.
That will crawl through the internet to smack you.
She has the link to the Zoom. She could just come on in and be like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh.
And then just leave immediately.
I know, exactly. No, she won't. You know what she would do? She would like come in here, yell at me, and then just stay there and just wait.
Oh, they're also watching Fantastic Beasts. So, okay.
Oh, well, that's a review tonight. They already watched Fantastic Beasts. But yeah, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Secrets, I don't think anyone really gives a flying fuck about. Because the only thing that was crazy was the gay thing, right? Or, I don't know.
It's less about that. So what happens in so Harry Potter comes out, it's this big monumental thing, and then like the first Fantastic Beast comes out, and everyone's like, you know what? We're bringing it back. We're doing kind of a Hobbit. We're doing kind of a prequel thing. And then J.K. Rowling just lost her fucking mind because she's like, oh, people like the I didn't put this shit in the book, and people loved it because the first thing that ever came out was Dumbledore was being gay. That was something that was never really brought up in the books. Not necessarily even hinted at. It's just he was never with a woman. He was the character. He was just helping Harry Potter. And then she's like, oh yeah, by the way, he's gay. And everyone's like, oh shit, that makes so much sense. And people were connecting the dots. And she's like, people love it? And then she just started saying shit. Random fucking bullshit. Like until humans, like the people without powers, created toilets, wizards just shit everywhere and just fucking let their magic get rid of it. And everyone's like, the fuck are you on? And then she just kept doubling down. It makes sense though. Not really, because outhouses still existed prior to indoor plumbing. Did they? Yeah, dude. That house has been around for fucking ever. You have a little shit, an area where you shit like that. Those existed forever before indoor plumbing. But she kept losing her mind, and then eventually, when the second movie came out, and people were complaining of the fact that it's like, hey, how are you having all these different minorities in these very like precarious situations? She's trying to go through and explain it, but then starts doubling down so hard on a lot of the stuff. She basically becomes extremely transphobic and racist in a lot of her tweets. And by that point, but the fact that the second Fantastic movie really sucked, and her just basically poisoning their brand, everyone's like, look, we don't really want to see these movies anymore.
So really quick, we get some love. Sponge 191990. I like that name. It's like 19199999. No, but thank you for the 10-month sub, man. You have been here for quite a bit. You haven't been seeing any commercials for quite a long time, so that's pretty cool. That means you've heard every single stupid fucking thing I've said. Daryl McCoy, thank you very much for being here too. I really appreciate that with all my heart. I know it's fucking late, so I'm glad you're over here just chilling with us.
Yes.
Mauricio is saying, are you gonna be reviewing Pain and Gain tomorrow? Yes, actually I will be. I want to make that kind of a surprise because it is a later review that was given to us, but I think it makes sense to do that pretty soon, considering that, you know, Michael Bay has a thing going on. Ryan Walterson, hey dude, how's it going? He's like, oh, okay, you're awake. But then also too, man, you know,
yeah, you've been going through some shit, man.
Yeah, I'm glad he's here, dude. Cause yeah, he's going through a lot of shit with his Facebook and everything, social media. Yeah, but it was kind of cool. I got like a message from him on Instagram, and I was like, is this a fake? Like, I thought the real Ryan was the fake one, and I thought the fake one was the real one. So I was like, what the fuck?
It's wild, man.
Yeah,
it's Facebook. Like most people, that's like the center of their day. That getting hacked, that's fucked up.
Yeah, because Ryan's always updating everybody up. Like, to put this out here, guys, most of my topics, and granted, sometimes like I will say I'll find topics on my own that are the exact same links that people send me. But when I'm really out of shit to look up, like Ryan's essentially the chat type producer, as like Kevin Keane is Corey's producer. Like, I mean, if I gotta like give anyone like a lot of love for the topics shit that's sent to me all the fucking time, is Ryan. So thank you very much, Ryan, for that. I really appreciate that, dude. And then also, I just hope that you don't have to deal with a bunch of shit going on, you know, in the future. And I'm actually worried for myself, because if they got Ryan, they could easily get me or you, Alan. I mean, you know, we're no better than.
Yeah, my Facebook, I've had that for 10 years, as the Facebook memories constantly remind me of the dumb shit I used to say. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, man. I mean, who knows? What you come? Marissa's like, I want to know most movie news. It wasn't for Ryan. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would change my password, but then every time I change something, I get locked out my own shit because of 2-point authentication thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm so
always. By the way, quick thing for 2-point authentication: have it text you. Don't use the stupid authenticator after email. Just have it text you. It's faster.
Yeah, it's way faster and way better and way more believable. Like, not believable, but just secure. Thank you. You can trust it. Essentially, is what I'm saying. But yeah, my password is not Corey Coleman. But I will say I did do. I made a DT channel, and I had to like. It's really weird signing up for something, and then all my shit goes to Corey's info, like his phone number, his this, his that. I'm like, I feel like I'm already like making life harder for me on purpose, because I would rather just have the shit sent to me. But I had to do that for Corey. But hey, you know, it is what it is. That's the business of the online stuff. So yeah. But anyways, moving on though, we're gonna get into some reviews. This is the first time we're gonna get into the topic so quickly. Today we're talking about Halo. You know, it's been out for quite a bit. Oh, before that sounds nothing like it at all, and that was scary.
That's exactly how the.
That sounds like you getting some good ass pipe laid on you, dude. Like,
wait, good ass pipe laid on me? What?
That's a good ass pipe laid on you, man. They're laid in you. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Gene's like, you taking a shit? Fucking even to root McCoy's
laughing. I look. I tried more than the show did.
What's so fucking great too, dude, is like the fact that you're doing that as soon as Ganja comes in, which is so romantically perfect. When he comes in, and it's just like
Birdman.
It's just like,
look, Nick doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
I know nothing. Pipe, like with the man? Yes. I knew exactly what I was talking about. Pipe. You got something up your booty hole with that shit. I don't know. But Chris McGowan, I'm not going to say whether or not I agree with you, but we'll get right into it, man. This is Halo. Now, I didn't know what to think about this moving into the show because I heard a lot of people talk shit about it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I have a few bullet points I want to like touch on, and the first thing that comes to mind is just building up the Spartans. They're not human. They're faster. They're stronger. And the first thing I'm thinking of is that Daft Punk song, which was silly.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, like, faster, better, something.
That's
stronger.
you. That's not the show's fault. That's you.
Well, then like you saying that, and they know what the fuck they're doing. Like, come on, like you guys never heard that shit done before, you know? Like,
no, they're doing. I don't want to say Negan popularized it, but they're doing we gotta talk about the dude before he shows up. That way the dude sounds cooler than he actually is type shit.
True. No, they've been doing that for years, and that's a big wrestling thing that happens a lot, which I love when wrestling does it. I love when they do that.
It's a trope that I kind of don't like, because it's like, oh, we got to have the old guy that's been around for a while, that's kind of like drunk on space whiskey to tell you about this. I'm like, don't tell me about the motherfucker. Have the motherfucker do shit.
But when they were doing it, though, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of silly, and they're like really serious, like, oh, yeah, he's fucking great, his cock is so fucking huge, and all that shit. And then it gets into a thing of like, I had to keep telling myself over and over, this is not the Mandalorian. This is not the Mandalorian.
Are you sure?
This is not the Mandalorian.
Because this is the Mandalorian. If it was, look, I'm gonna say my reviews. This is the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian sucked.
Yes. I just fucking pretty much gave out my fucking rating, I guess. But yeah, because it looks like a LARP session retouched by Adobe Premiere with so much contrast and vibrance, act up so much that I feel like I had to like change my fucking computer settings. This computer, this monitor right here, is a new monitor that Ganja actually bought me, by the way. Which once again, thank you, Ganja.
It came in through, awesome.
Yeah, it came out a while ago. I just didn't want to like open it and go through a bunch of shit because everything always goes wrong. And by the way, it went wrong with me. I went through a bunch of shit yesterday, to a point where the guy who did me a favor and got me a monitor, literally, I was cussing him out. I was like, "Fucking goddamn it!" But anyways. But it's here and I'm using it, but because it's so nice and HD and such high quality, I actually had to change my settings lower because Halo was so bleh, like just
that's
throwing
honestly,
up. Like,
the worst part about buying a new monitor is getting the colors right. Honestly, like I will lose my fucking mind. When I first got this monitor, I think I spent 2 hours trying to get it like looking right. Now I'm afraid to never reset my computer.
This motherfucker started watching Halo and it turned into a rave.
Pretty much, like my whole room was like fucking like whatever.
With the EDC in his own fucking bedroom.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts, dude. And so like, when dealing with that, it was like, okay, this is kind of weird, and this makes this show kind of look a little bit cheap or whatever. I'm going to look in the chat for a second, too, because Lucero was saying, Halo TV series, this is going to be awesome in 2008. Yeah, very late.
The thing is about it is, to me, I actually thought it looked like, okay, I'm going to just say this straight up. I think that this had a pretty good budget, because I'm looking at the Master Chief outfit, I'm like, that's pretty good. They didn't CG it up. I'm looking at the big guys. I'm like, okay, this is a very complicated video game design, so making it work in real life was probably way more difficult than it was. You're having these big, large sets. You're having a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, everyone's like, oh, this is so cheap. I'm like, well, actually, this looks pretty fucking expensive, especially some of the stuff they do later on in the episode, especially in episode 2. I'm like, this is a high-budget affair. It's just the reason people are saying this looks like a LARP session is, I'm going to say this straight up, the Halo outfits and weapons are fucking garbage. From get-go, they always look like shit. The only difference is now you're seeing what happens when we try to make a real-life version of a garbage weapon. Oh, it looks like cosplay. Guess what? It was weird sci-fi bullshit in the video games. Yeah. It just looked fine because the rest of the world was the same polygon structure as it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree because, yeah, like the non-humans look like creatures that were done for a commercial about Halo's release versus an actual Halo show. Like, I've seen fucking, like, those Halo commercials like, oh, Halo 3's coming out, and this is back in, like, 2007. And I was like, oh, they should make a movie. And I watched this. I'm like, holy shit, they shouldn't have done anything with this. Like, it's like, what the fuck? And then, like, they have these badass type of enemies, the elites, I think they're called, right? Or brutes? Are they brutes or elites?
Yeah, brutes. I believe, honestly, go with both because I'm not that annoyed.
Okay, but, like, they come out and they're doing shit. And I was like, okay, this show, and I understand where they're coming from with the show. You got to work with what you got. So I'm not going to use this as a big reason as to give points or take points away from this. But it's like you purposely use elites because you didn't want to use those horribly designed, stupid-ass creatures from that fucking video game series.
Bro, could you imagine? Matt, Spartans are not human.
And then Galen's like...
To be fair, if they cut from, like, serious to that, I might have bursted out laughing and just loved the show.
Oh my god, what were you saying, bro?
I don't know, I was just quoting the characters. Oh my god, it's the demon!
Wait, do they speak English?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's stupid as fuck. Oh, they actually speak English in Halo 3. And it was like, and there's nothing more annoying playing in Legendary Edition, and I'm getting my ass kicked, I'm dying constantly over these little fucking like cartoon characters that could be like fucking jokes in the goddamn like.
It's like minions if they were suicidal.
Okay, by the way, I want to point out, fuck Legendary Edition. Legendary Edition is not designed to beat single player. That game is exclusive. That mode is exclusively designed to be beaten with 4 people. Fuck trying to beat that on your own because honestly, I was trying to because I play like I've been the Halo games on the second hardest difficulty. Let me try Legendary. You literally one-shotting every single time. One time, I literally stood in an empty field. I'm like, let me see how long it takes to die. 10 seconds as I see some fucking, like, sniper ricochet 15 times and hit me like a pool ball. I'm like, fuck this fucking Legendary difficulty.
So I'm going to actually combine 2 things into one. So one, I will say, I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna answer a question, then we're gonna go back to what I said originally. But this is a 56-minute episode. Same thing with the second episode. Very, very much too long for a series show, especially something like this. But then I'm going to answer Gene's question as far as like what I think about the running time of the new Doctor Strange movie. And I think that's also very, very long. But with Doctor Strange, there's so much crazy shit going on that you have to spend some time explaining it. If it has a lull in the movie to explain exposition and everything like that, I can let that go because I need to have someone wrap my brain around this crazy world that's like, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. With Halo,
like the longer the better. That's always been my opinion.
Just helps you bite the pillow.
Yeah. The longer the better.
Well, I mean, hey,
the thicker...
you need some time to get used to it. Everybody adjust to it.
You gotta get it moist. I get
just
you.
Spit on it a little bit. You'll be fine.
KY jelly, people.
Did you say throw up on it?
I said spit on it, but you also.
Oh, I heard throw up on it. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Oh, dude. Okay, can I just tell you about blowjobs? I don't like in pornos.
Go on, tell me about your blowjobs.
No, not mine. I'm not telling my shit. No, like. But like, no, dude, like those fucking like pornos where everyone girls like, it's like, oh, like I don't want to hear that shit.
Put that shit on mute.
Exactly, right? Like I just want to fast forward it, And then the guy's like, oh yeah, you like that. It's like, no, she doesn't. She's gonna throw up. She doesn't like
that's
that.
liking. I hate to see what happens if she hates it.
I know, and if she does like that, by the way, like I don't want to hear nothing about my cooking because if you go and it makes something bad or whatever, it's like it's nowhere near.
Oh, that means you like it. It's like what?
Yeah, I know, right? Like don't give me that shit. You better not have a gag reflex for anything. No, anyways.
Nah, that's the best sound in the world. Y'all just suck.
Yeah, Gene's like blowjob.
Y'all just suck while getting suck. I don't know how that works. Y'all doing it?
No, we had a big old talk about there's no such thing as a bad blowjob last night, but I think I just proved.
I don't know about that, buddy.
I don't know, man. Don't put your dick in a meat grinder or something.
That's what I mean. Like I don't know about that, buddy. There's a lot of accidents on the internet that might just say otherwise.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It'd be really crazy.
It
would be really fucking crazy if Reese comes in here now and I'm talking about dick again. Because that was the whole thing for like a month. Every single time I talked about my dick or dick in general, whatever. But Black Knight, I'm kind of good at cooking. This is so much more interesting than fucking Halo.
You're right. Oh, look, okay. First half of episode 1. Okay, for people that don't know anything about Halo, and honestly, I'm gonna be one of those people. I played like 4 of the games. I think all of them, except for like 2 of them, suck. I think most of the Halo franchise is a waste of time. But basically, we're at the outskirts of the solar system. The U.S. military has gone to space, and humans are colonizing all space. But in the background, there's a war within the Covenant. The Covenant are these weird aliens. But a lot of people don't trust the military, so they have all these random outskirt camps. So we're dealing with this first one where this girl, like, hey, she wants to leave the camp. She's about to go explore the world. But then the elite/brutes come down. They start wrecking people. Like, to the extent where I'm like, oh, this is actually, like, hard R. I'm like, I didn't expect that for Halo. Halo's always...
Yeah, like, sure, blood splatters and head explosion. Like, oh, fuck yeah,
murdered. Dude. So they come through, and then the Spartans come down and are the most useless motherfuckers in the world, and immediately start kind of doing something. They take out the elites, but honestly, everyone gets wiped out except for one person. And then the show goes, okay, that's enough good content. We're going to be the most boring show you've ever fucking seen.
Well, I want you to talk about this before we even get to that, because during that fight, though, because I will say, the explosions and the fighting, and then even one where, like, one of the brutes or whatever kills, like, a bunch of innocent people, I'm like, oh, that's fucking bad. He's, like, spraying. I'm like,
yeah,
and they're showing, like, the weapons and everything that look really cool. But then, one of the things that showed me that, okay, we're going into bad territory here, is essentially the fucking superhero landing of Master Chief. To the point where I'm like, okay, you guys are already doing typical shit, but I get it. The show is just starting. Whatever, I understand. But to do a superhero landing in the day of, like, Deadpool 6 years ago was making fun of that shit, and you guys can't read the room well enough to know that superhero landings are fucking dumb, tired, stupid, silly, and made fun of.
I disagree. I always think superhero landings are cool, but we're talking about superhero landing. This show was like, no, he's a superhero. He's the main character. You know why? Because at one point, random side character grabs a minigun and starts shooting the brutes. Brutes are like, okay. Master Chief grabs it, walking, and suddenly it's killing people.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? I thought I was missing something. I'm like, oh, they don't have certain armor on.
In the 90s, and he's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, yeah, it only works because Master Chief's holding it. I'm like, it's the only reason it changed is suddenly now has the fucking enemy killing bullets because the plot's like, okay, give it to him now.
But Master Chief's killing spree is entertaining. I did like that shit too. I even like the FPS shit. That was really, I thought that was really neat.
At one point they show you the HUD, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say that there's, by the 18th minute, you pretty much get everything that you would get out of like a climax of a movie. So anyone who's complaining about this, saying like, man, this shit fucking sucks, it's boring, blah blah blah, it's like you got enough here where if you would have watched a movie instead, they just gave you the climax. So you got it. But then, as you said, now we can get into the second half where I'm like, dude, who the fuck? Obviously, 2 separate teams of people made this episode. Because the second half is like, oh my god, like, I know that I'm not into this, So it's like it's just some asshole talking. So I don't want to ruin this for anyone who actually watches the show, or whatever. So I'll shut my fucking mouth. But Alan's here too, and he actually played 4 of the games. So you kind of see where I'm coming from. And Ganja, didn't you watch this too?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch the Halo series. Mostly because everyone else was freaking out over the internet, as well as I was out of town. But okay. I was a huge fan of the video games growing up. Matter of fact, I remember staying in line for the midnight release of Halo 3. But man, just to hear you guys shit on this, it kind of sucks that it's gone this bad in terms of them not really understanding Halo as much as, as much as the fan base has created a lot of the story, lore, and hype around the character himself as Master Chief, without, Bungie actually creating anything. The fact that they couldn't even use the most basic material that's available, which is mostly fan-made stuff, and just shit on it within the first episode. Like, that's kind of fucking amazing. That's Star Wars Last Jedi level of pissing off fan base.
I'm so glad to Star Wars.
The thing is, it's worse than that because, so Star Trek Discovery is currently out. There's the Foundation on Apple Plus, which is fucking fantastic. Like, those are the ones immediately. There's a lot of good sci-fi out there. A lot of good sci-fi. Doctor Who has been great for decades. Like, there's a lot of good sci-fi out there. This is like, I don't even know how to describe this. This is like someone this is someone that hates science fiction trying to write a science fiction thing. They're taking, like, the second half of it becomes like, well, hey, we got the first action part for the Halo fans. Now that we suckered you in, we're going to... Oh, The Expanse. Thank you. The Expanse. There are literally right now, there are so many concurrent sci-fi shows out there that this coming in, not necessarily just that part. This is so subpar. Because the second part of it is just like, we're going to go into the psychology of Master Chief, but it's so much like, we trained him, but he's breaking orders. Why? Because magic and thing, and I'm Master Chief because I say so, and I took my helmet off. I'm like,
yeah, why did they fucking do that?
Anything?
Why did they
don't know. It's literally like a like the Mandalorian, the entirety of the first season. It's Pedro Pascal. So the biggest actors at that time. Everyone knew what the fuck he looked like. But in universe, like, oh wow, he never takes his mask off. That's really fucking cool.
It's gonna mean a lot when he does.
And it did at the very end. He's about to die. And it's like, hey, I'm not organic. And the dude didn't mean to die. So it's like, hey, you're still good to go.
And now that it started the whole series now that they're going to be doing with him trying to redemption himself from actually showing his face. Which that would have made a big payoff if they would have just done it with 12 minutes into this first episode.
It's literally, honestly, I think it was like 24th. So it was literally halfway through the fucking episode. And he takes it off, and you're honestly not really sure why, because he saves this girl, but he touches this weird artifact, and it starts to give him memories of the back. So, okay, we're going into a bit of this character. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. I get it. He takes off his helmet. Let's focus on the character, and maybe he grows into where he becomes less of a human or some stupid bullshit. But no, it becomes this very generic, like, we just have to keep saying his name a couple times to make sure this is still Halo. But it ends up being so little about Master Chief, and anything that's not Master Chief related is the most generic, like, Tom Clancy fucking military shit you've ever seen, to right to the end of the episode with like, oh, Master Chief's surrounded by guns, and oh, how are they gonna get him? I'm like, pretty sure this isn't gonna result in a shootout, but hey, surprise me, you've been garbage so far, maybe you change it up, and the episode just ends.
Yeah. Marie, I'll wrap it up because we're gonna get into episode 2. Yeah. But I give this episode 2 out of 5, and it could have been so much better because there's things where it's like, I think of this as Mandalorian stuff. I feel like they're trying to do Mandalorian. And granted, I mean, and this might be a classic case of just lack of experience. Because keep in mind, I'm not a critic. I'm just watching this as a dude who doesn't know the ins and out of any of this kind of stuff. But it comes across as them trying to do what other people do. And it's just like, it just failed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like I feel like people who had the rights to make a Halo series watched The Mandalorian and said, hey, we can do that too, but they didn't. So because they fucking can't, but if they had the money, if they had the people that are working on Mandalorian, they probably could. They probably could do something really cool with Halo. And I almost think, like, I wish Disney Plus or Disney or whoever the fuck is in charge of whatever they do, I wish they had the funds to acquire the rights to Halo, because Paramount, it's like they're like number 5 on the totem pole of like streaming services and everything too.
Way less. I think even Peacock is above them.
Yeah,
like they're so
what
far
can they do? Like, I mean, I literally, I'm not trying to make an excuse for them, but like, fuck.
You raise a good point, Diaz. Like, what can you do? Like, Peacock's got like the George Lopez show. That's just high fucking quality.
Yeah, no shit though.
The thing is like, I look, Amazon, can't remember. Oh, The Expanse was on Sci-Fi. And Sci-Fi is like, nobody even knows that channel exists, and it was one of the best science fiction stuff I ever read. I binged through.
Hey, Sci-Fi Channel exists in my heart. Just for the Halloween movies that they were released on the 31st. That are just all zombie films for some reason. They even made a sequel to The House of the Dead for some reason, because that deserved one.
Yeah.
But then again, I go to Apple Plus. It's Foundation. Apple Plus is like most people forget. Apple Plus is a streaming service, and it has an incredible. Go watch it. It's extremely dense, but it's extremely good. We just saw Star Trek Discovery. It had a rough first season, but by season 2 and onwards, it's one of the best sci-fi shows out there. This has no excuse because it's not cheap. Like you see this, especially when they're showing a lot of stuff. Like they're building these big sets. They got as accurate as they could to the actual video games, the outfits, and they got the names. They got everything going on. Like they clearly have the money. The problem is, it's one of those situations where it's like I don't want to say always compare everything to DC and Marvel, but it's like Mandalorian is a Marvel stuff. It's like, okay, we're gonna plan this out. We're gonna basically, because of the fact that we have a big enough name, we can essentially take whatever risk we want. With this, it's like, no. All we have is the name, and we have no faith. Like, no one has any faith in us, so we have to play this as, like, catch-all as possible. Oh, people want to see the character under the face because we don't know how to write a character that only emotes through face, so show the face immediately. We need to have blood in there because people just like bloody stuff nowadays. The Boys is doing really fucking well. It's like trying to catch all for everybody, but it's leaving most people in the dust, where I was like, I was halfway episode 1. I'm like, you know what? The next 2 episodes are really gonna make it because I don't like the Halo franchise. This should be for me to win me back. Much like I fucking think League of Legends is one of the worst video games ever made. Arcade is amazing.
Yeah, but what'd you rate this though?
2.5, honestly.
2.5. Okay.
No more nor less.
Yeah, really quick, Carnage Ray says, what are your thoughts on Disney Plus removing the tribute to Stanley on the Punisher series that was on Netflix, but then got moved to Disney Plus? So I don't know anything about that, and I can't remember the character Stanley because I'm fucking stupid, and I just got a lot of stuff in my brain, and it's a very small brain. But they changed something on the Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, where they took the blood. Yeah, and I was like, why the fuck would you do that? And then they have the original version, I believe, that's accessible through parental controls only or something like that.
Yep.
Which, that's fine, that's cool. But that thing that E-Mike or Carnage is talking about in the chat, that actually is a thing where he took off a fucking character or tribute to a certain character. He said Stanley. He means Stan Lee.
Yeah. So I figured it would click.
He wasn't talking about Stanley, the one who used to go hang out with animals and a goldfish.
Yeah, I know. It was like Stanley. It was like the guy who works at the fucking, like, at the arcade. Hey, I'm Stanley. How you doing? Welcome to the fucking...
No.
Okay, to be fair to Nick, you wrote it as, like, Stanley.
Yeah.
You didn't separate the first and last name.
I don't know if I would get mad at that, but it is one of those kind of fucked up things that if it was done on purpose... It's really kind of like callous, but that does seem like something that probably got lost in the transition from them getting it from Netflix. And we don't know what kind of stuff Netflix had. Maybe that was a personal tribute Netflix did for Stanley, and Disney wants to do something differently. And it could also be just about saying "fuck Stanley."
No, I don't think it was that. If I remember correctly, I'd have to know when they removed it, but I think it was always a situation where it was extremely poorly placed because. If I remember correctly, the season 2 ends with him like gunning down a bunch of gangsters, and then it cuts the credits and says "Rest in peace, Stanley."
So Stanley was one of the guys that got shot. He's like, "Hey,
it was very poorly timed. So I don't think Disney's like, "Oh, fuck Stanley." They wouldn't have put him in 100 fucking cameos. They're probably just a situation where it's like, look, that's just really poorly placed, and we honest. Plus, they have to like the reason they started getting rid of the Bloods. Yeah, the parental controls. They're like, look, we're getting the Netflix stuff on there. We can't sit there and be like, hey, go watch Guardians of the Galaxy, the most like PG thing in the world, to watch people get dismembered on Daredevil.
Y'all want to watch Jessica Jones get raped real quick?
Recommended for kids. Guardians and Jessica Jones? What the fuck?
Mommy, I don't think that's consensual. It's not sweet. Keep watching.
Where's her cape? It's behind the naked man that's fucking
rape.
Yeah.
But it's like... So I get that they're removing the blood because they're like, look, we want to keep the Marvel MCU stuff accessible to family, but hey, we have the parental controls to do that. And half of you guys go, I can't believe they got rid of the blood. It's not for you. Don't worry, your blood's still there. I know that's the pinnacle of storytelling nowadays. That you have to have
it's important.
Blood.
It's important.
It's not important. That show sucked.
You're coming from a whoa.
That show sucked.
The Punisher sucks.
No, not Punisher. No, not Punisher. I talk about Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah.
Winter Soldier, can we edit it to make it a good show?
Yes.
Is that possible?
That would be great. Thank you.
That shit was garbage.
That was fucking awful. It was really, really bad. I was going to say something else. You start talking about Halo Episode 2, though, sir, while I take care of this really quick.
So I was basically, Halo Episode 1, 50%. I'm like, you know what? I've seen bad first seasons even. First episodes. Sometimes it takes a couple episodes to really get rolling. Arrow Season 1, complete fucking garbage. Star Trek Season 1, Star Trek 7 Season 1, complete fucking trash. I've seen bad seasons to great shows. And this ain't it, dog. Holy fucking shit. This somehow gets worse. All the shit that I was complaining about in the first episode, the second half, it gets worse because it focuses so much on, we got a world build, but the world building sucks. It's not well done. Like, we get to go to this Master Chief's like, oh, I gotta run away. I gotta run away from the U.S. military. Then he goes and runs away to a friend of his, and friend of his starts telling him like, oh, the friend of it almost has some good dialogue of, you're just a robot, you're just a machine, you're being programmed, shit like that. But that never really seems to last longer than about 2 seconds. But he's constantly doing everything he can to never be Master Chief. Like, he's constantly like raising his voice and constantly doing all this shit that's not really the character. Especially the fact that he went from just removing his helmet to removing all of his armor in scenes. Like, there's scenes where he's just
fucking chief dick out already.
Might as well. He said "be cool" a couple times. Like, and the whole thing, it's like he's like, oh, I got to make sure that the UNC doesn't fucking fuck me up for this thing. And then halfway through the episode, going, oh, this is a weapon. I got to make sure the cover doesn't happen.
Where is this in the timeline?
Reach exists, so my guess is this is about 20 years before Reach falls.
What?
Basically, okay, this is the biggest problem with the show right now.
But he's not even Master Chief yet.
Technically, he's not. So, okay, the first episode states that this is the start of the Spartan Project.
He's one John. Homie's just John.
Well, John 117.
Yeah.
They call him Master Chief, though.
But he doesn't become a legend just because he's a Spartan. Like,
it's weird because they don't call him. They know him by Spartan. They don't necessarily know him by Master Chief. But this is the biggest problem with the show. Hey, Nick, do people know Spartans exist or do they not?
Exactly. I was wondering that too.
Like everyone's like, oh, Spartans are and millions of people dead. Yada yada.
Like as if it's secret. By the way, it's like, okay, if it's secret, then no one knows. But if it's not secret, then stop fucking knowing. Like, oh,
what kind of wannabe Team Still 6 shit?
Dude, literally. But the problem is, fucking higher ups going, this sucked. You've only been doing this for like a year. I'm like, how long have you been doing this? Because you've either the first time they ever showed them, apparently that was one of the first times they ever been on the ground. That's why they sucked, because they didn't save anybody.
Yeah, the Black Hawk Down rule.
Yeah, it's like back home. They came down. They didn't save anybody, but apparently they've been around for a very long time. So I'm like, either people know Spartans exist or they don't know Spartans exist. This show just likes to jump in between, because every time Master Chief goes, they go, oh my god, look at the size of his dick. Every single time he walks into your room, but it's told like nobody really knows. So it's like it really feels like the show was written by two groups of people that weren't in constant conversation. It's like this isn't a situation where they didn't listen to the fans. Because they're like look at my favorite movie, my favorite MCU movie, Civil War. That has nothing to do with the comics. If you, for some fucking reason, thought the comic was good, you'd hate Civil War, the movie, because it has nothing to do with it. But it's also a well-written, well-acted, well-done product. This isn't. This ignores most of the fan shit, but it's also poorly written.
Yeah. But no, man. But just to let you know, like, I do enjoy the beginning of this episode where like it starts off with the Spartans kind of being at odds or whatever, and I like how they kind of show the guy's hand being all mangled, because once again that's where gore or violence or some kind of blood or whatever shows. It looks kind of bad, but it's like that's how dangerous shit is. Like, my shit's all fucked up, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. But then, like, Quan, the little girl who actually Master Chief somewhat saved or whatever, she's in the plane. And there was like this really stupid ass scene where they're like they're driving it, they're piloting this fucking thing, and they're like driving into a fucking like PS3 visualization. I was like, that was like some of the silliest shit I've ever fucking seen.
I like that scene because it's like, oh, we're talking about space travel, right? We're talking about space travel. I forget about it. I'm like, what? This is what I'm here for. I'm here for sci-fi shit. Explain your sci-fi universe. Nah, just brush it off. Fuck it. We explain 2 seconds of it. It's like, fuck right off. Why does he like? And the feeling the need to constantly keep his helmet off. It's like, this actor's not the biggest actor in the fucking world. I actually like the guy. I've seen a bunch of his shows. He's a pretty good actor. Why not keep him in the helmet? Like this thing where we.
The helmet is more iconic than the guy.
They literally put a helmet on the dude that played Pablo Escobar for like the whole fucking series, and he was an iconic actor at this point. Yeah. And for this, like, I don't mean to insult the dude, but let's be honest, second-rate actor, they're just like, oh my god, he's so amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But they go to this place called the Rubble, essentially, and like it's this place where they all don't like Spartans, and they especially look at Master Chief like, "Ooh, what the fuck are you?" But then he comes in, and he's just like, he's like RoboCop, just not giving a fuck. Like, as far as I know, he has an issue with oxygen, somewhat, whatever. He has an issue of like if he gets hit by bullets, he could get penetrated still, blah blah blah. But he comes in like no one's gonna do anything to him, and he's being a dick about it. I'm like, this is why they don't fucking like Spartans, because you're kind of an asshole. But he comes in and he finds out.
I don't understand how you can get killed by bullets, but jump from the atmosphere, handle fucking the pressure of space and the combustion of the ozone layer, and land and get sniped. I don't get that shit.
Yeah, I don't get that in the games either.
Halo didn't explain that shit in
the games. Don't even get it.
The TV shows, they don't explain that. How like a Spartan can like be a comet 1 minute and then be a ragdoll a second.
Remember, it's not Spartans. You have Spartans, everyone else in the universe, And then Master Chief with his plot armor, literal plot armor.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing too. Speaking of the plot armor, they gave plot armor a fucking name, just like how they give randomness in Star Wars the Force. No, worse.
No, that happens yet.
Yeah, that doesn't happen yet. Well, I mean, maybe it has. Who knows? Oh, that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that. Maybe I don't even really want to touch on that yet because I know it's gonna be the next episode when we review this again. But
I have to watch more of this, don't I?
But more frustratingly than anything else, they give him a name just like how Star Wars gives stupid shit the name of the Force. And here, Master Chief is the blessed one. And he's the only one who can control this device, that fucking device that lets him see memories and shit.
That's not who he is.
Okay,
he's supposed to be a demon.
Yeah.
So basically what ends up happening is the weird Covenant technology, only certain people can activate it. They call them the Blessed Ones because we're going with biblical allegory for some reason with these aliens. And then, I swear to God, somebody from 1997, and specifically from Total Recall, because this is the same character as the dude that got, I got 5 kids type character, comes in, bro, gotcha. Come up with the most racist, like, black stereotype crackhead you've ever thought of in your life.
I can't do that. Twitch would kick us off.
Yeah,
dude, not kidding. Mangly hair, looks like he's been sleeping in a fucking corner with dog shit the entire time. Teeth, the worst.
Crawling on the floor, going, "Oh, that looks crazy right there."
I was looking at this, going, no. Oh my god.
Y'all just like are describing a sci-fi minstrel show just appeared out of nowhere,
bro.
With a little sprinkle of Phantom of the Menace, like
holy shit, Jar Jar levels.
Yes, as Marissa said, yeah.
Jar Jar is no, because it's played seriously. Like you're supposed to be afraid of him.
Well, yeah, but you're only supposed to be afraid if you're scared of black people.
That's what I mean. Well, you're actually just going,
fucking bullshit.
I want to see if you could find an image in like a trailer or something. Because
he's not in there because he means so little. Like that's the only problem. Because I wish I could show him right now, and if I had more time to prepare, I would have. Because that was really like, okay, this is silly, but it also reminds me of Rogue One, where Morgan Jones from Walking Dead. He talks, and Corey said this, so I'm going to say the same words, but I don't like to use this. But he talks in slave talk, like everything. You can hear the word like master coming out right afterwards.
I'll see if I can get a screenshot. I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah, but what's his name? Lenny James is the guy who plays Morgan Jones from Walking Dead. But he's like, he uses his voice. I tell you, there's stormtroopers out there. They just walk around, and I just want everybody to get together, and everyone just get together. I want to make sure everyone's safe. And it's like, it's Star Wars. It's fucking Star Wars. Can you not do this, Rogue One? You piece of shit fucking film. I fucking hate your goddamn guts. And when it comes to this character is not as bad as that character was. It's not as racially insensitive or as silly or just dumb, whatever. But it just is not necessary. Just don't have it in the fucking show. I mean, is that character in the game? I played Halo 3 and Reach and a couple of ones. I forget what the fuck else. That character's not in there. I've never seen that character before. So yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Even when you ran into like the colonizers or settlers of different planets, they just look like people from like, honestly, the closest was aliens, with like kind of like a worker jumpsuit kind of look. They never were like space crackheads.
Space crackhead.
Space crackhead. I think I got a image. I'm not sure how good it is.
Even the worst one in Reach, they just look like dirty farmers. That's it.
Yeah, you send it over to me. Then I'll make sure to show it on screen.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the show to be too long, but yeah.
Yeah, just quick. Like
crackheads in space.
It's literally like, that's how he enters the scene, and he starts crawling on his fucking knees and shit. It is, oh my god.
For being a bad quality image, it's not even fucking loading up for me. Good.
Oh, is it? No, because I couldn't do a screenshot. I take a photo of on my phone because every single streaming service doesn't let you take screenshots anymore.
Man, Disney pissed me off with that shit. I was trying to screenshot this really good joke on fucking the Proud Family, and they're like, "Nah, for security reasons." Man, this is half the reason these shows get popular is because of the screenshots.
Yeah, but no, that's the image right there. That's the character from Halo. And then in the chat, Soraya says, "Ninja Jones the grunts in Halo 5 and 6."
Bro, that's how he enters the scene, and as soon as he sees Master Chief, he's on his like hands and knees crawling towards him. I'm like,
yeah, just because he's a blessed one. I'm like, oh, come on now, dude.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. All right, I gotta watch this because I really do know the Halo lore. The humans don't follow the religion that the Covenant do, nor do they respect any of like the blessed, the almighty, the god with the 2 pair of underpants like titles that they give these different characters. And one thing that really blows my mind is Master Chief in the series is not treated as the blessed one. Matter of fact, after he totally nukes Halo, he's called the demon. And he's portrayed in like the Covenant lore and the way they talk about him as almost like this mythical evil creature, almost the level of Doomslayer to bring it back to E-Mike. And by the way, I kind of want a little cutesy version of Doomslayer, but only if it's like that gory puppet version of it.
Yeah, or
like,
have Isabel from
Oh, bro, that'd be amazing. Yeah,
but like instead of like ripping out guts, it's like confetti flies out and shit. Like if they do,
you mean like actual cool. Halo?
Yeah, kind of.
No, but thank you for even responding to that, Ganja. I completely forgot. So my bad, Carnage Rage. But yeah, I would like to see that too. Something silly as DLC, but no, if fucking Disney made like a Doom movie or something, that'd be ridiculous. But
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, obviously blood is extremely important part of Doom stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's like blood clearly doesn't make a product good because look at this shit. If Disney made this fucking show,
well, this isn't the end all be all for that blood aspect.
But you know what I mean.
Look at Logan.
But you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, true, 100%. But even I have my issues with Logan. But like, let's say Disney took this product, Halo, minus the blood and minus the swearing and the nudity in some cases. Like, there's literally a nude shot in this.
There's a nude scene. Yeah, there's literally titties and ass crack and
this is probably one of the only games from the early 2000s that had no ass. If you want to count Cortana, maybe, but even she was clothed.
Yeah.
Hey, we only have about 5 or 6 female characters on this show. What should we do? Have all of them be unlikable? Have one of them need to be saved and make that one naked? It's like, what?
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about like they just don't read the room because they're doing superhero landings and the fucking thing that comes out in 2022, and then they got like these stupid ass scenes where they're boring as fuck and nothing's going on in like this big fucking room with bad CGI that's passively like when you got passive bad CGI, it's even worse because it's like you could have put real shit back there, made it look good. You spent money on CGI to make it look fucking worse? What the fuck are you doing? And that scene with the girl and being naked, it's like we're past where women are just there just for the sake of like they're just window dressing. Women actually mean something in our fucking media now. Okay, and I hate to say that like as if I never felt women meant shit, but like I'm gonna be honest, dude. I have not given a fuck about a female character mostly in the 80s, 90s, 70s, especially 60s.
There wasn't much there.
Yeah, it wasn't until for me personally, it wasn't until Terminator 2. That I gave a shit about a female character.
Kill Bill. That was the first time I ever saw a female badass. Because I didn't see Terminator until way later on. But that was the first time I'm like, oh, I
Ripley
had no idea.
Aliens was mine.
That's a big one, yeah. That's a big one.
Which is important. By the way, I want to point out that having strong female characters is incredibly important for women. It's also incredibly important for men to showcase that it's like, yeah, women aren't just around just to be saved.
She had the biggest schmeat on that shit.
Yeah, stupid ass.
Bro, I'll never forget watching the Crazy 88 fight, looking at my parents going, is she going to be okay? Like, there's too many people in this, like, she's not going to be okay. Like, I'm a kid. I'm 11 years old. I shouldn't be watching that movie, but here we are.
Yeah, especially when that.
You should have been asking, "Am I going to be okay?" But
I mean, I grew a love for fight choreography and swords.
Yeah, but this episode, just to wrap it all up, had it been the first, I think this would have been hated by fans. It would have made people throw their hands in the air, saying, "Well, they fucked up Halo. They actually did it wrong." Blah, blah, blah. Because all this episode is absolutely. I mean, it absolutely sucked. I think the first episode wasn't much better. And I think this, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but Halo in general as a story just kind of fucking sucks. As a video game, I like the story because I think it's a cool little backdrop that plays while you're just shooting shit and you're getting lost and you're having fun with your friends and everything.
Yeah, you're getting lost because the level design sucks.
Well, yeah, but you're also getting, like, I mean, I'll be honest. Like,
I know.
Because we think this, but I'm trying to, find a bridge between us and people who actually like this shit. And I mean the video game series. I mean, even the fans don't like this fucking show, but... I mean, the as far as the fans of like the video games, and you guys think it's fucking amazing, whatever. I just want to say that like I disagree with that heavily because and I feel like the game knew that too. The game's like, yeah, here's this crazy story if you guys want to get into it, but like, and it's fun. When Halo Infinite came out and I wanted to play it, I wasn't wanting to play because it's a good game. I want to play with Ganja. I want to play with Alan. I want to play with 90s. I want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Halo. We could be playing fucking anything. I would play Worms Armageddon with you. That has no fucking story.
Oh, I want to play Worms Armageddon.
Yeah, that's fucking fun. I don't want to see a Worms movie telling me why the worms are there inside that fucking
I
closet.
do. I wanted as serious as this, and now I want a worm. I want a live action Worms movie that with this level of serious. Like I want some people to put like war paint on, going, we gotta get them worms.
Oh my god, this sounds like the most cutest graphic little thing ever.
I would fucking hate it. I didn't play.
Could you imagine just like a bunch of worms, like shotgun in hand, rocket launcher on the shoulder?
I don't know, sorry.
Because then the PETA might get mad. No, because people are too sensitive for a fucking worm show. Because that comes out, it's like, what are you trying to say? That worms should kill each other? What the fuck?
Yes.
Why the pink worm did
for
this?
our entertainment.
Wait, they'll get really pissed when the holy hand grenade gets used.
Yeah.
Bro,
oh, I love that. Yeah,
that was legitimately my favorite weapon of all time. like as a kid, because again, it always did the hallelujah, and then would just fucking decimate.
But playing Goose Goose Duck, I'm actually curious what that even is like. I'm gonna watch that on YouTube tomorrow and see what it's like, and then maybe you'll try.
I actually played it. It's Goose Goose Duck is basically Among Us, but it's the same exact thing as Among Us, but instead of just being the spaceman, you're just ducks.
That's what FanFan says. Sounds like Super Troopers.
That's exactly what I want.
Well, I thought she's trying to say Starship Troopers or Super Troopers.
I think she meant Starship Troopers because that's what I was thinking, the more serious one.
Damn, those grunts are bigger than you, Alan.
Yeah, dude, Starship Troopers is the shit. But
well, good. Then I'd be afraid of them because I think that's the point. 5'6"? That's like a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, it used to be funny to be like, hey, let's go, Alan.
5'6"?
Yeah. Oh, Alan, aren't you 5'4"?
Yeah, 5'4", so it's like a little bit taller than me. If I wore like bigger shoes on the size of a grunt.
Yeah, you borrow my shoes. But anyways.
I know Master Chief's supposed to be ridiculously tall, but I never thought he was like that ridiculously tall.
Yeah, because he's talking about the
like
grunts.
7 feet. Yeah, the grunts. Yeah, because the grunts are tall as shit. But Master Chief, no, because they showcase him like he's big. But I always thought he was like 7 or 8 feet tall. He's really maybe like 6 foot, like 6'2" maybe.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like 7 feet.
Yeah, but he's definitely towering over people. But I expected it to be because when you watch Halo 4 cutscenes, he is towering over people. Like you have the regular people that look as short as I do talking to Ganja, but in here it's like, you know, hey, we put Ganja, we put Nick right beside each other. Maybe one of them taller.
Yeah, but moving on though, I want to wrap this fucking thing up. For me, I give this episode a 1 out of 5. It was hard to get through. The second episode is fucking garbage. I'm sticking with the show because episode 1 did a lot of stuff to make me care about what might happen. But I'm starting to feel like there's going to be a Hawkeye situation where episode 3 is probably going to be bad too, then 4 is good, and then 5 is awful, and then 6 is amazing. But it's only amazing because they did some surprising shit, so you have to watch the next season. You know, like I know what you motherfuckers do. You know, every show is a fucking same show nowadays. Go fuck yourself. This is a 1 out of fucking 5. I hate this episode. I really, really do. I fucking hate it. You, what would you rate this?
Honestly, same fucking thing. I don't even know if 1 out of 5. I don't know what to give points to. There's some decent CGI at some fucking point. The only time I ever enjoyed the CGI was when they're flying through the fucking asteroids. I'm like, okay, that was actually really, really well done. It was intense for no fucking reason because that's he's like, hey, you want to see some cool shit? Like that was
right. It was like showing off.
Yeah, he was showing off like you're in space. You're not being chased by anybody. Why are you doing like weird fucking like battlefront maneuvers? Like fuck, he's just showing off. That was the only time. But like and then everyone else is acting circles around the guy. I'm like, that's fine. He's supposed to act circles around Master Chief, but I just found myself being bored, and not because there wasn't any action. Because again, like I just binged through 7 episodes of Severance. Like can't wait for the next one, and it has no fucking action. That's all dystopian nightmare work environment. Like I love sci-fi. It's one of my favorite genres because I like when you go into your space technology. I like when you go into your science. I like to see what are you gonna do to combine what we know about science and whatever your space equivalent of magic is. Like combine them, have some fun with it. But every time they're about to do something and tell me interesting, the show's like, shut the fuck up, nerd. Watch Master Chief walk into a room. It's like, don't tell me to only watch a show for the action, but then don't show me the action. But every time I try to watch a show for something else, it becomes this incredibly boring thing where I'm just like, I'd rather be playing a video game while watching the show because, like, I'm not gaining anything by watching it. Might as well be an audiobook for all I care. So I really, like, honestly, it's bad. I've seen worse, but, like, I'm gonna be real. If this all came out at once, the show would have failed. The only reason why it's gonna survive somewhat is because people are like having to wait a week going, maybe the next episode will be good. If they Netflix this show would have been dead in the water. Nobody would have finished it.
Yeah. Moving on though, man. This I'm actually surprised by I feel about this because right away, man, this is the first time ever for me personally that this goes further than any other Marvel show in a sense of making me feel very, very uncomfortable. Like the only time I've seen something done this well was maybe an episode of the WandaVision, and it didn't start there. It was like in episode 6 or something, and then maybe Iron Man. But this shit starts off with somebody breaking glass, putting inside their shoes, and then putting them on.
What the fuck was that?
That was so fucking intense, dude. I was
this whole episode feels like someone's bad drug trip, and
yes,
bro, watching him go through it.
Yes,
this dude, like legitimately, your life is falling apart. What the fuck are you doing going to work? Find a therapist, find an intense drug treatment, because bro, you're like waking up on the bus. Like that is fucking. This dude loses days. Like this, like hell.
You can't even have a date. You can't even do a date. He's just like, hey, so I met you over here. It's like, motherfucker, it's been 5 days. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
look.
What
to
have I
be
been doing?
fair, also, You didn't call him?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I was thinking, look, I get it, you're mad. He got stood up, and I'm like, wait, he clearly checked his phone at some. I mean, he didn't check. He thought it was Sunday, but like, you didn't call him at any point. But
well, that's the thing. Like, I think this movie, because I'm not movie. This episode of the Moon Knight. I'm really interested in what happens with the second episode, because this first episode really gets you into the idea of like, one, this man is mentally ill, and two, he's experienced this like deep psychosis that I honestly think he wasn't there during any of the points that we don't see him. Like, for example, the day scene, he's not conscious until he wakes up on the bus, and he's just been an autopilot or what the fuck's going on when he goes into this moment of. Honestly, I think it's the superhero activating, because it kind of gives you a hint towards that. Especially if there's a couple scenes of hardcore action where he does certain things that at one point he clearly shows that he's impossible of doing himself as the character he is.
He becomes Jet Li's the one for about 5
seconds. He's essentially what happens. Because at one point he's in a car chase and he does a complete like cut scene to it, and it's an amazing escape, but we don't know how he did it. And it just further shows that this dude is having such hardcore memory lapse that days and weeks doesn't mean anything to him, and he doesn't even know if he's really sleeping or not.
Well, the thing is he didn't even get a date. That was somebody else that did it for him.
Yeah.
But quick synopsis of this episode. This dude Steven, he's in England, and he's at a gift shop. He really loves Egyptian culture and architecture and everything with Egyptian history. But he's dealing with the biggest bitch in the world, Donna. His manager doesn't give a shit about him. But he has he basically has a disorder where he split personality, memory loss, and it's affecting his life a lot. Where he's always unkept. He has this weird accent. He can't really function normally like we can. And it's clearly affecting him. And he's thinking it's all weird dreams. He's thinking he's sleepwalking. Because he wakes up randomly. He has to tie himself to his bed, put like sand around there, put tape around there, like to make sure he doesn't leave his apartment. And that you start to see how that affects his life. And you think, he's crazy. But then weird shit starts happening where he wakes up and he's like the other side of the continent.
Yeah, it's like GTA 5 shit. It was like, I thought it was Trevor, exactly. Like, whoa, shit, he's in his underwear and shows. You know what I mean? Like, it was like that kind of shit. It was like,
we don't know where he is. He just wakes up. He's like, literally goes from like, Harry Potter is happening right here to we're in the middle of where Midsummer was happening. We're like, what? We just jumped into another movie. Like, we don't know what's going on. And the actor himself, he's like, I don't know what's going on. Then he's getting shot at and stuff. And then they're doing this because apparently now Venom/Upgrade is now the default thing for powers now, because literally, like, there's a voice in his head that's calling him an idiot, saying, don't give the thing, and it's controlling his body.
Did he stop being... Oh, shit.
Stop being a little pussy, Oscar Isaac. Come on. What the fuck?
Oh, shit. Wrong universe. Jumps out and goes to Venom. Like, it's the Venom/Upgrade mentality.
I just picture that, like, cheesy-ass sound of the door opening and walk away.
But again, as much as thinking that's for comedy, because that would easily be for comedy, the show does a really good job of framing it as terrifying, because he's like, don't shoot me, please. I can't control this shit. And then at one point he's surrounded by dudes, and then he just kind of like does a That's So Raven fucking eye thing, passes out, blood everywhere. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And that's what's really cool about this show, because like he even goes into a situation where he's like running away and everything after he wakes up, and like he's in this weird place, and Ethan Hawke is like this weird like religious like healer or whatever the fuck, and he thinks like, oh, this is probably some bullshit, but he accidentally kills somebody, whatever. And then he essentially says some shit to be like, hey, like, we're missing the, I forgot what the shit's called, like a synapse or a masquerade. Scarab, yeah. It was Scarab,
yeah.
And he's just like, yo, like, everyone get down, or something, in a different language, so everyone gets down.
That was a good one, too. I really like that, because that's how you can tell, hey, who's supposed to be here. They all understand the language, but it goes, oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly, which is fucking great. And you would think that, like, he would find a way to hide himself or whatever, but, like, no, they touched on that right away. Like, no, he got caught instantly and blah, blah, blah. So, like, that turns into a scene. And that's when I started getting irritated, because we've already seen, like, maybe 5 different scenes where he's, like, something really important happened, but it's edited out of the show because he was not conscious or whatever.
Sure.
But now we're seeing, like, aftermath of a really, really cool action scene, and we're not getting it. And yet, because his character is supposed to be, like, this inner voice, and this thing is taking over his life, and he's supposed to not know, well, now we're no longer allowed to know, too. And I feel like, well, now I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. Like, if this was, like, a thing where, like, I bought something, and then it's like, no, it's cool. You see, you don't get what you're supposed to get. See what we're doing? It's like, that's something I would go take back and get my money back for. Fuck that.
Not necessarily, because I think, to me, it's like, I love choreography more than everybody. Like, it's my favorite thing in the fucking world, watch choreograph fight scene. I like that car chase, and honestly, because it's a whole less is more situation, where it's like, if we saw him fighting and maybe he went like super cool mode, RoboCop style, sure, it would have been cool to watch. But the fact that it takes it out is to basically not say to show how cool he is. It's to be how terrified he is. Because you are now as the audience, you're like, what the fuck just happened? This dude was here and now he's dead with like ice cream filling on him. Or there's like 7 people around dead. Like he kills like 12 people in this first episode.
Like imagine if you like woke up and you were Spider-Man just swinging across, but you don't know how to use your Spider-Man powers.
What the fuck? You know, like, it's supposed to be terrifying. And one of the things I liked about it is, especially because sometimes you even get to see what he sees sometimes. When halfway through the episode, you know, this big dude with like a cane is following him. And I remember watching the trailer and I remember the elevator scene going, oh God, this is just going to be a comedy. They do the same scene, but it's terrifying now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they changed the music. They changed it because you see the old lady, she's like kind of joking in the trailer. I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those. You see there, she's like, yeah, she fucking just runs. She just fucking leaves.
I think at that point he's switching to the Moon Knight character, and I can't wait to see what the outfit actually looks like in motion and the way they, especially when they reveal it, because I think at that point he was going between the two, and what the woman is reacting to is this dude essentially becoming an Egyptian god in front of her in the elevator.
Maybe because he just hops off the floor and just knocks on a random door. And it just keeps going on. And I love the fact that it's fucking with you psychologically because it basically kind of shows like, yeah, there's clearly something going on. I was hoping it's going to be ambiguous, but there clearly something is going on. But it is still a situation of like, where is this really going to go? Because he sees a mirror, like the end of the episode, spoilers, if you guys haven't watched it, at this point, go fucking watch it. But the end of the episode, because what was the biggest complaint? His accent's fucking crazy and stupid. But then as soon as he looks in the mirror, he sees, you know, cool Oscar Isaac, where it's like, yo, man, I got this. Like, what? I don't know who you are. I got this. Dons a costume and starts fucking beating the shit out of that fucking thing. I'm like, okay, we're getting that. I'm like, I hope they keep the show going because they obviously can't do 12 episodes of you don't see all the action and it's all fucked up. Like, they got to wrap it up at one point where he's in motion and you start seeing what's going on.
Take his own off, B.
You know, we don't really know how far this is really going to go. But I'm curious because I was worried that the show was going to suck. But honestly, this first episode, I fucking loved. Like, people were mixed. And I'm like, I don't really know why you're mixed. This is fucking amazing.
I'm mixed. I like the aspects of like the mental capacity of, especially the episode's called the Goldfish episode. Like literally, they're just playing with the whole idea of like your mental capacity and how much of it are you perceiving as your actual reality, or are you in a dream state, or are you just in this constant state of manic or mania or schizophrenia. It plays with the idea of like you are not 100% in control of your mental faculties, and shows how a person would try to deal with that day to day as the thing starts to break down and get worse. Because from the sense of I get, this is the first episode where it's getting way worse that he can't control it, because it seems like this has been a common occurrence because he has certain things. He has, like, for example, the sand around his bed to make sure if he makes foot movements. He has the chain around his ankle to make sure he doesn't actually leave the bed. And I think I really think that this is going to slowly reveal that either he becomes the moon, his persona, which is the superhero character, or it's going to be a kind of duality conflict similar to what you saw from Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Yeah, that's something.
And I don't know anything about the character Moon Knight. The only time I've ever interacted with the character was in Spider-Man Web of Shadows, where he shows up as a secondary character to help you out.
Oh yeah, he is in Web of Shadows. I forgot.
And that's the only time I've ever encountered Moon Knight. And apparently he's like a shit talker, but that's like his second or third personality.
Yeah, man. The only thing I will say that I gotta take like little tiny bits of points off, but I'm still gonna give this a very, very high rating. But it's like that thing that's chasing him, not on it. On it's very, very creepy. That design, that Egyptian deity thing that's chasing him, whatever. That thing's cool. But there's like this weird little dog creature that was like, wow, this is. And I know I said the movie's good and everything, but it wasn't perfect. But this reminds me of the liquor from Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Yeah, that was a really, really bad CGI design. I know this is a show and everything, but it is Marvel, and we keep saying, you know, like, oh, why can't this thing be like them with their money? Da, da, da. And it's like, well, they got money, so no excuse. That shit looked fucking bad. Yeah. And then also, I just feel like it was really getting away with murder. And luckily, you know, by not showing us the action, but it was so good at the tension that I'm not going to take as many points away. But you do that shit again this next episode show, and it ain't going to be no fucking... I'm not going to allow it anymore. That's some bullshit. But yeah, I give this a 4 out of 5. I fucking love this. This was great. But Ganja, how about you? What would you rate this?
Honestly, I like it the same way, but I just need to see where it's going before I give it such a higher rating as you. So I'm going to give it the middle road 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay, and how about you, Alan Shakazine?
I love the hell out of it. I was worried because I'm like, again, to me, it's like, it impressed me with, you have to impress me with something in the first episode to keep me going to the next episode. Impress me with writing, impress me with visuals, impress me with choreography. You don't got the choreography? Okay, cool. You don't the visuals, I didn't really complain because to me, do something if you can't do it can't make it look good, make it look cool. And they made it look cool. Impress me by making me think. Where it's like this guy's life fucking is garbage and terrible. Like he gets it in the first time, you're like, oh, this is gonna work out. I'm thinking in my head, oh, he's gonna fuck it up somehow. He's gonna fuck it up somehow. And he fucks it up. I felt so fucking bad for him when he's sitting there and it's been like 2 days. I'm like, how did you lose 2 days of your life? I would be having a panic attack if I lost 2 fucking days of my life. Sometimes I forget I lost like 3 hours going, what the fuck happened? 2 days, I could not imagine that. And him waking up on the bus, like I'm like, yo, I'm tense because I'm like, I just want this guy to be better because like your life fucking sucks right now, bro. And he looks like it too. The only thing I'll take points off is he doesn't break down in this episode. Because at one point near the end, he breaks down where he's like, he doesn't know what's real anymore. He doesn't know how to trust the mirror. Because the mirror is like telling him I can help. He's like, he doesn't know what to trust anymore. But I needed like a breakdown, face in hand, crying because his life's falling apart. And I never really got that because I'm like, I would be doing that at this point. If I'm being chased by monsters, if I fucked up a date, if I lost 2 days, like I would be freaking the fuck out. This guy never really freaks out. I'm like, come on, man. This is a little unrealistic of all this shit's happening and you're kind of okay. Like
that's true. I didn't even think about that, yeah.
I was thinking about that the whole time. But the end of the episode kind of gave me, but honestly, much like WandaVision, where it's like, look, I hated the first 2 episodes of WandaVision. It wasn't until they started to reveal that there's clearly more going on than there isn't that started making me intrigued. This is like, okay, there's clearly a lot more going on, but it's definitely got me going. Like, I want to see what the episode 2 is going to be like. To me, it's like this wanted me to see the next episode. And hey, maybe you don't show any choreography. That's fine. Keep the tension up. Keep the mystery up. Keep me thinking. Keep me asking questions. That's what you have to keep me going. I want to unravel the mystery with you. And so far, I'm sold on it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Dude, I forgot the second Halo episode came out. I thought a third one came out because Nick texted me to watch the third one. I'm like, I guess a third one came out. I don't fucking know. This, I can't wait. Like, is it tomorrow or is it Thursday? When the fuck does this show come out?
Yeah, I don't even know. Because, like, with Halo and this, they're competing. So, I don't know anymore.
That's so much of a competition at this point, though.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm about to say. To me, it'd definitely be same rating as Nick, 4 out of 5. I would give this 4.5. But it was missing that last thing, and I feel like the character was handling it too well. Like, he was handling it too well, and that's my problem, is he should have break down a little bit more. That's the only reason I'll take a 0.5 point off, but honestly, like, this is, like, because I was worried after Winter Soldier and Hawkeye was garbage. I'm like, yo, this is going to be fucking trash. No, this is like, yo, we're back. We're back up.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. But now, for the bit bounty, this is the Karate Kid in this particular movie. This bit bounty is given to us by Mauricio as he put a bounty on the head of all the Karate Kid movies, and I'm damn happy that we all pretty much got to see this film. And I didn't get to see this way back in the day. At all.
Same.
Bittersweet's like, damn. I know, she's probably kind of sold over there on that fucking, on that Moon Knight. But, yeah, if you guys want to put the bounty on the head of a movie in the future, that is 500 bits for a movie and 1,500 for a season of a TV series, be it anime, limited series, reality show, TV show, or whatever it is. However, if it's more than 22 episodes, we might have to require more bounties, or more bits, because me and Alan
recently that the Batman first episode is 61 episodes.
First season.
I don't know. No. It's not per season because season like 2 to 4 is regular. It's actually regular 30 episodes.
No. The other thing I'm correcting you on is because you said the first episode is 66 episodes. I was like, no.
Sorry, yeah, my bad. I fucked it up. But yeah, it is 61 episodes, and it's like we're getting through it, but it's gonna take a lot longer to get through it than regularly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and plus, it just takes up so many times. So, I mean, we're gonna do that this time because Lacroix is such a great guy, and we're gonna do it. But then I'm gonna have to change something in our little about me section to fix that because holy fuck! Like if someone did that for an anime, it's like, hey man, you gotta do season 1 of blah blah anime, and then it's like 125 because Hunter x Hunter has a season that's like that. I'm like, oh, what the fuck were you guys thinking?
Season 5?
Here's like 2,000 biddies. I need y'all to catch up on One Piece. Fuck.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I know. It's like you better pay me 200,000 fucking bits for that shit.
That'd be like 20K, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But anyways, moving on though. Talking about this movie, one thing I didn't know about at all until I did trivia for the Cobra Kai series that we did on Double Toasted was the fact that the director John G. Avildsen, I don't know how to say his last name, but he's the same director of Rocky and Lean on Me. I did not know that.
That makes so much fucking sense with this movie because again, this movie came out 30 years ago. This is a Rocky movie.
Oh, fucking so absolutely. And
right on down to the fucking beach montage.
Yup.
Right down to the music. Right down to the music at the final thing, where I'm like, "Is this Survivor? This sounds just like Survivor."
Yeah, dude. No, I completely. Yeah, you're right. Ryan, you're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna take you down.
Funny thing is, I love the concept of Karate Kid. love fight choreography. This is the first time I've ever fully sat through the movie.
Yes,
and I've watched all the Cobra Kai. Fucking one of the best, like, hey, we're taking this old movie and turning it into a TV show sequel thing that I've ever seen. It's one of the best written shows on television right now. And watching the movies, like, they pay so much fucking respect. Like, if the actor that plays Mr. Miyagi was still alive, they would have had him in the show. They get everybody they can that's still able to be in the fucking show, and it's kind of incredible.
Do you think people younger than 25 actually have seen this, or do you think they just give a shit about Cobra Kai?
Honestly, I don't think so, but it's one of those things where they've seen enough, not necessarily memes, but it's one of those things that it's been in the culture. Wax on, wax off, as somebody pointed out in the chat. Mr. Miyagi, karate, all that stuff. Like,
there's a lot of iconic things that's almost like the level of Batman.
It's like Rocky. Everyone knows what people they don't say montage anymore. They go, oh, it's like a Rocky montage. Like, montage
having his Rocky moment.
Yeah, exactly. The stair moment. Like, everyone knows that, because I didn't see a Rocky movie until Creed came out. I went back and watched them all. And the Creed came out.
Oh, you missed out, bro. I did a marathon with my parents once when I was like 12. And man, when that robot came out in the third one,
bro, what the fuck was that?
That shit blew my fucking mind.
I'll be real. Last thing on the Rocky, I think all the Rocky movies are great. I even like Rocky 5.
Well, shit. Really quick though. So, LaCroix, you didn't mean the Batman animated series? So I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, what? 2004?
Yeah, because Alan's watched a lot of it.
I mean,
you guys are gonna start giving links to the fucking things, man.
He said the Batman animated series, so I went to watch the Batman animated series.
Yeah, because I even asked. I said it out loud like 4 times.
Yeah, fuck you for making me watch a series based on my favorite character. That's fuck it. Birdman Bit Bounty. I'll do a review for the fucking first half of the first season of Batman real quick. It's incredibly amazing. The show is, if you were watching it with the aesthetics now, it is technically cheaper. This is Batman animated series, not fucking.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. You're gonna say that for another day, dog. Okay, it's fucking late, homie. It's like, oh, Batman! Fuck it, 2 more hours.
Batman. That doesn't help, Ricardo.
You just gave him a nerdy Cialis. That motherfucker woke up again.
I know. Yeah, the nerdy Cialis.
What does that even mean?
It's a dick pill, stupid.
I know what a Cialis is, but what the fuck does a nerdy Cialis?
It means your dick got re hard again after you nutted, bro.
Oh fuck!
You got more rounds in the chamber than the one we expected.
Wait, LaCroix. Okay, now LaCroix's fucking with us now, because now he's saying
the Batman.
But earlier he's talking about 2004 series of the Batman. Now he's saying 2022 movie. Yeah, you're full of shit.
Fuck, you guys gotta watch all of them, all the way to the 70s Batman with Adam Smith.
Do you know how many Batman series there are?
Adam West.
yeah, I'm telling you, Ryan, you know too. I know you're Captain fucking Intelligence, but you know this shit's confusing, dog. That's 3 different things he's said. Like, what the fuck? But anyways,
please put a link to a trailer in the chat so I can find it and watch it somewhere, because there's so much Batman shit, man.
And the worst thing about Batman too, and it goes to all combat things, and I've talked about this since 2016, but it's like, the shit's stupid because they're so not creative. They just take Batman, Batman Beyond, Batman Animated, the Batman, like, what the fuck? Like, think of a name, motherfuckers. Like, goddamn.
Okay, there we go. You put it in somebody thinks named Batman, yeah. And, Batman Beyond's one of them. Wait, this one?
It's literally called the Batman. It's literally called the Batman, and then the Batman animated series. Technically, that's just called the Batman too.
No, that's called Batman the Animated Series. It's extremely confusing.
See, that's so fucking stupid.
Okay, I'll add this to the Y7. I mean, it's funny because funny thing is, I actually never. When I grew up, I watched the Batman animated series, but I watched it as it came on television. So I watched random fucking episodes here and there. Rewatching it back in the day, I'm like, yo, they did shit. Like, go back and watch the Batman animated series. There's some good shit in there. And there's some like, yo, this is dark. This is really well done. This is incredible storytelling. Like, I cannot believe they did this for a kid's show back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get into all that very soon. Now we know which one, so thank God, because going through 60, that'd be fucking hard as shit. I'm glad I brought something up.
Imagine if we went through all 60.
Oh, I would have been like, fuck you, LaCroix. I would have been like, you fucking motherfucker, I'll choke you.
That will get done in a reasonable amount of time. Because I'm like, I'm watching you all play video games, so I've been getting through it, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to get through this pretty quickly now, too. And then who knows? Maybe somebody who wants to go in there and give us some bits of whatever for the Batman anime series, we can do that, too. Because,
ooh, and you can specify that for season 1, it'll have to be 1,000 or something.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, moving on, though. To get into swing things, the movie is about a kid named Daniel who has to deal with this asshole bully named Johnny. And when hanging out with a group of his friends, one of which being this cute girl named Allie, Daniel ends up getting his ass kicked defending her honor as Johnny comes. I mean, that was weird too, because I thought these were kids. The motherfucker like drives over there during their party. Bro,
between Cobra Kai and this, they don't give a shit about kids.
They really don't.
Don't pop.
Yeah, dude. Goes and gives him a black eye. He's going to school looking like this, whatever the fuck. And yeah, dude. One thing I gotta say as far as that aspect of this, because that's the story, by the way, too. Because I guess I'll finish the synopsis. But like, Daniel wants to impress Allie, but then also like stop being this guy who gets fucked around, get kicked around, and everything. So he tries to join his dojo, the Cobra Kai dojo. And when he goes there to join this particular dojo, he sees that Johnny Lawrence's character, Johnny. He's just in there training too. He's like, fuck, I can't do that shit. And Kreese seems like an asshole. So he goes back home. He's all depressed and all that stuff. Mr. Miyagi is like, oh, you're trying to learn that karate? Look at this shit. You're trying to learn from a book like a fucking dweeb? Like, he doesn't say that. But, I mean, pretty much.
Honestly, Mr. Miyagi, I like the guy. He's kind of an asshole.
In the beginning only. But yeah, he was just kind of, what the fuck, punk ass bitch. And he tries to kind of train him because he's like, man, I can't let you go out here and make all of his karate dudes look stupid, getting your ass kicked by that fucking white bully. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen. So he starts training him slowly, not necessarily train him a lot. I mean, there's even a point where he tries to make him go to the dojo, and he gets scared as fuck. Even Kreese, I love this. Kreese goes, if he's late, I'm gonna fuck you both up. That was so fucking funny. Like, why is Kreese so evil, dude?
Because he's so actually, honestly, I know this doesn't technically count, but Cobra Kai season 3 goes into his backstory, and you actually see, but like he's basically supposed to be the tough, like, actually, honestly, no mercy. If you're the enemy, do anything possible to destroy them. That's why he's so evil. Like, he takes his mentality outside the ring, where it's all focused on hurting. That's the entire thing of Cobra Kai. Hurt, hurt, hurt. That's all it's focused on. That's why Miyagi's like, no. This is to defend yourself. I'm teaching you to do this bullshit so that you can defend yourself. You're not going after revenge. That's what Cobra Kai's after, and that's why they're all assholes, because they're going after revenge. You're just looking for reasons to be revenging. Whereas you, it's like, no, I'm going to teach you to defend yourself, so when they come after you, you'll be okay.
Yeah. But just that was kind of like, I mean, like, it's just crazy because in 80s movies, they were always like that. Like, a lot of these movies are fucking nuts like that, where the bullies are so insane, or like these adult evil men are just extra fucking evil. And I like that about this. But Ganja, I gotta ask you, dude, like, I mean, you've seen this movie before today, right?
Yes, I did, sir.
So what do you feel watching it back, man? Like, does this movie feel like oddly aged to you, or like almost too popular? Where like
the one thing that was really odd to me is how much it really did karate stuff. Like all the tournament and like the times that they weren't training or doing any like the kind of the usual sports montage just to move on to the next segment of the storyline. But like when the tournament really starts kicking up and you see the way that these characters are fighting, and they even cut into some of the other martial artists fighting, it gets a realistic, like, kind of like, I feel like they trained some of these people or got people that were actually trained in certain martial arts to come and do these scenes. So it gives some more realistic tone to it. Because, man, it looks like they're doing professional wrestling at some points. In terms of, you can tell, like, these actors or these extras are really laying into each other, including LaRusso's character. I forget the actor's name. But he's Machio's character. The way they fight and the nervousness he's got, I really thought the fight scenes were well better than when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude, it was weird too.
They're way better, because I remember thinking, oh, it's just basic choreography because it's it's a 70s or 80s.
Well, 84.
Movie, but, yeah, 84, 80s movie. But no, going back, I'm like, okay, no, this is incredibly intense. Even though I knew the outcome because I watched Cobra Kai, it was a situation where I'm like, yo, this is like way more brutal. It's the brutality. It's way more brutal than I remembered it being. Especially,
and what I love is for a lot of us, especially people born after the 80s, we kind of got the Jackie Chan version of Kung Fu, which is more like kicks, hands moving everywhere,
flashy.
Very fast paced, very flashy, and the moves don't look like they hurt because you're supposed to be like lighter than air in how you present yourself. But when you see like real karate in its most brutal form, like you do in this movie, especially in the tournament scene, you realize like, damn, fucking Machio better get shit together. He's gonna get his head kicked in.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's so badass to see that because it makes me like respect the movie for just being so straight up or whatever from being so old and everything too. But like, here's the thing: the director that did this, as I said earlier, the guy who did Rocky and Lean on Me, But he's also done Rocky 5, and that's something I want to bring up. That's the most common with this movie is that I love that violence is the answer.
Look,
like,
violence
come on, man.
is always the answer, and if it's not working, it's because your violence isn't violent enough.
Exactly, and I fucking love that about this director. He's like, listen, sometimes you gotta knock a motherfucker out. You gotta crack a motherfucker's skull for him to get the fucking point. Leave me the fuck alone. I love that shit about Rocky 5, and I love that about this movie, because Rocky 5 is a terrible movie. Even Sylvester Stallone has said that.
I know, but I still like it.
Me too. Yeah, I had a great time with it, and then I love the storyline with the son. I like the son in that movie more than in Rocky Balboa. I fucking hate him in Rocky Balboa.
I wanted to choke that little fucker.
No, I loved him because if he wasn't as much of a shit, we would have got the greatest motivational speech of all time.
That's true, yeah. You fall down because you didn't tie your shoes? Get up. You keep on fighting.
Greatest motivational speech of all time.
But the thing is, the reason that speech is great, but it's ruined because the kid is such a fucking brat that you wouldn't believe that Rocky would have this dude as his child.
Yeah, it's like, where was your parenting, bro? Like, what the fuck?
Again, that's what makes the speech.
And that Rocky loves his kid. Like, I understand that Rocky was like, "Oh, you never amounted to what I wanted of you. You could have been a great boxer. You had my genes, but you were such a bitch." No, he loves his boy. He's proud of his boy being a lawyer.
But again, even in the speech, he says, like, I raised you good, but then you let somewhere along the line, like, he realized, like, especially with deal with the parent, eventually your kid's gonna grow up and they're gonna go into the world. He says that in the speech there. It's like, just something happens. That happens all the time. He's dealing with a family-loving parent and people that care about him, but then he goes into the world and the world kicks him in the dick. And he's like, well, fuck, this is because my dad's super famous. Because in that speech, you almost be like, well, this is how people treated him. And eventually, after so long, it wore him down. Like, he probably was a good kid. It's probably the last couple of years, his life just went to shit. That's why he's yelling at his dad. And his dad's like, yo, no. You were good at one point. Didn't you remember who you used to be?
Yeah, but his dad doesn't come off as the... Look, this is not a Rocky review. I'm going to end it after
Rocky
this.
Movies. Please.
But, like, we can in the future. But he never comes off as that, like, ex-athlete asshole father that, like, is really disappointed his son not following his footsteps. That doesn't justify really his son being such an asshole, except for, like, oh, my dad's famous.
But the thing is, it was never his fault. That's the thing. It was never Rocky's fault. It was always the world's fault.
Well, we'll agree to disagree there. But the thing is, the journey of the movie I really like too. I really will say I cannot stand the mom. I think that she's an obstacle for obstacle's sake. She's just constantly like, hey, you need to do this. Make sure not to. What's going on at that karate place? It's like,
I mean, she's watching her son getting black eyes every day. I got her work.
I know, but she didn't give a fuck beforehand. You have a good day at school. Oh, what's going on with the glasses? And it's like, okay, but now I'm going to the fucking dojo. Now all of a sudden you care for the sake of the movie. We need to have just an annoying figure in here. It's like, fuck you. I feel like that mom did not earn her obstacleness.
No, I liked it because, again, she's trying her best to deal with her son, because even like tries to get him a job as computers, and he's a teenager, so he doesn't give a flying fuck, even though the actor's like 20 something in this. It's kind of wild. He's like in his 20s when he's trying to play like a 16-year-old. But it is one of those things where, no, I like the mom. She's enough of an obstacle as much as she needed to be within what was going on in this. But yeah, just the journey along the way, because like I was like, this movie's 2 hours. This is gonna be a really long 2 hours. Like, no. You start to see there's a lot of, like, small little fights. You start to see, like, him training without him realizing it. Because he's, like, waxing cars and, like, fixing his fans and, like, fucking doing the electrical in the back. And he's just like, what the fuck does this have to do with karate? And he starts like, hey, this is training you to do a lot of the defense moves, the circular movement. That is what Miyagi-Do is based on. And just seeing how that kind of goes, you even get to see, like, it's one of those things where modern movies don't even do this, where it's like, why is this villain? Is he a villain? He only shows up twice. Like, no, the Johnny Lawrence is kind of the villain in this, and he's showing up constantly in the movie. He's constantly fucking with him. He's constantly beating him up because he's an asshole. So when you get to the final end, it's like, oh, finally they get to go toe to toe because they've been building up the whole movie. It's not like some Marvel movies or DC movies where we see the character once at the start of the movie and then they fuck off the entire time until the end, with it to come in and do their whatever. It's like, no, Johnny Lawrence is constantly fucking up. We see his mentor being the evil, like, Emperor Darth Vader type shit, Yoda and Luke Skywalker type mentality they start seeing. And when you start to see them go toe to toe, you're like, okay, this is really fucking intense. And this is the type of movie you're like, you don't know, because it's so much Rocky. You're like, is this going to end like Rocky 1?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because, I mean, they even have a scene where he kind of, like, almost loses one of the, I forgot what he fucking called it, but, like, essentially he lost, like, a point or something. He's like,
sure,
this is it? Like, I'm just going to be a fucking loser forever. And it's like, maybe his win is not necessarily winning the match, but maybe winning pride. You know, like
Exactly.
I can take a fucking punch and maybe I earn some respect. So this could have went either way. Now, unfortunately, we watch Cobra Kai, so we know what's happening. And then here's the biggest thing about this too is that I do feel like what makes this movie age so poorly, in my opinion, is the fact that it's so fucking popular, and I feel like I already watched the movie. Like I knew every single thing that happened here.
It's weird, it is, but it still has. See, it's weird. You know the outcome, but it's the journey that makes the movie good. Because if this was just all, we're going to the tournament, we're going to the tournament, we're going to the tournament, the movie would suck because we know who wins. But because this is about, like, hey, he's not just in there like every 5 seconds, tournament. It's much like Rocky 1. A lot of the stuff, and you read up, Rocky 1's a love story that pretends to be a sports movie.
Yeah.
This is a motivational movie about, because even Mr. Miyagi's like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. This is the stuff you can take for the rest of your life. Because what's he learn? He learns discipline, he learns control, he learns focus. That's stuff that you're going to take, especially if you've seen Cobra Kai, of how he takes that on to be a better person. It's all about training. That's why Johnny Lawrence is such an asshole, because he's learning asshole shit. Whereas Daniel is like, he's kind of he's a dick. He's very quick. He's very impulsive. He's quick to be an asshole. But you start to see him growing and becoming a better person over the courses because of the fact that he's absorbing the lessons in a positive way. So if he wins or loses, that's why Mr. Miyagi said it doesn't matter. He's like, did I have a good chance? It doesn't matter. He only says that when he asks him like 4 times at the end. Up to then, he's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because to Mr. Miyagi, it doesn't matter. A trophy doesn't matter. It's the lessons that matter. So that's what makes this movie work, is because it doesn't matter if it's a tournament or not. It matters about the movie.
Did anything come across as less iconic to you than what Cobra Kai seemed or deemed to be iconic? Like, for instance, the wax on, wax off thing. We've heard that joke fucking many years. Everyone makes a, I was gonna say cover. I'm talking like a guitarist. But people do like their parodies. That's the word.
Yeah.
They do parodies of it. And I'm kind of like, for me, those things weren't as iconic as like the show deemed it was. But like, Gandhi, I'll ask you first. Was this less iconic than you remember?
All right. The one thing that Cobra Kai did do for me that ruined the final like kick scene was when he goes, I lost to an illegal move. And I looked it up in like in karate. Yeah, Mashio shouldn't have won that. He would have got disqualified in a real karate competition. He would have pulled that kick off.
That's fucking great.
So it did kind of change it a little bit. But other than that, like, it kept the movie, and I think it does a really good job too. And it shows that the creators of Cobra Kai really did love the Karate Kid and actually gave it a chance to actually figure out how to make this series bloom out of the old school movie without having to change anything from the original or have to do a remake. And it's the scene where at the end where he's winning the trophy, and I don't notice that Johnny comes up to him and congratulates him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's like a moment of like they share like an honor system. And I think that's right there where you have a chance for the series of Cobra Kai to bloom, is in that moment where you see that the difference between Johnny and his sensei.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they definitely, like, honestly, like, if you're taking anything from this fucking review, go watch Cobra Kai.
Yes.
It's one of the best shows out there. And they're 20-minute episodes. I think maybe the start of season 3, season 4, it's 40 minutes. But they're definitely, like, situations where it's like they know how to do this. And I've never seen a show take so much respect on something like Cobra Kai, not Cobra Kai, Karate Kid 3 kind of sucks, but they take so much out of that for season 4, and they pay it so much respect. It'd be the equivalent they made a Rocky series, and they're taking all this shit from Rocky 5, and it's like the best show you ever watched. Like it'd be like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah, it's really surprising. And, wrapping it up here, by the end of the movie, I really did actually believe the relationship between, or the strength of closeness between Miyagi and Daniel. Dude really came across to me as like a father figure, and or as a father for real. And like his whole demeanor changes as they become closer, and it was actually pretty heartwarming. Like legitimately, I felt good watching those two interact, which is fucking shocking for me to even.
That scene where they're drinking, man.
Yeah, dude, I love that fucking scene. And then the fight scene climax was actually really, really good. It was shot beautifully, especially for like an 80s movie, and legitimately, like, I suspended my disbelief, and I know what happens. And yeah, I was still like, oh shit, is he gonna do it? Like, I wanted to play the I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen game. So it was a really great scene, especially Daniel using his crane stance, which, they only make a slight reference to Miyagi using the crane. So the fact that they don't really like keep bringing up the crane, it just happens like maybe once or twice, and then he does it at the end. I was like, oh shit, like. You could have missed that.
It makes a lot of sense, because it's like, it's not a situation, oh, do the crane move because we brought it up. It's like, no, his leg gets injured. He can't actually, because you see he's limping stuff the whole time, but sometimes he's able to be okay because adrenaline's kicking in, but then he'll get hit in the leg again. He's like, he's limping throughout that entire fight, so it makes sense.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
He goes, what? Like, oh, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, so for me, 4 out of 5. I loved it. I would definitely watch this again. I can't wait to watch the rest of the movies, and I might even go back and watch Cobra Kai again after all these movies are done. But thank you so much to Mauricio for this Bit Bounty. I really had a great time, so thank you, fucking thank you. I love this movie. It's a 4 out of 5 for me, but Ganja, you, man, what would you rate this movie?
4 out of 5, bro. I'm surprised how well it held up and how much I really enjoy the characters. Besides the obvious thing, like Grease, where you have to pretend these people that are obviously not in their mid-20s are high school students, it's a great fucking film.
It really is. By the way, how was this watching with your dad? Like, was he kind of like, this is some goofy shit? Like,
no, my dad. This is my dad's movies. Remember, my dad's from this generation that this was kind of like advertised to as like, hey, you want to waste your weekends? And so he enjoyed it. It was a good chance to have him be nostalgic and shit. Watch this movie with me.
Did you guys go wax your car and go spout poetry as you're doing kung fu moves?
I mean, he's been my Mr. Miyagi and learn how to drive, so I don't cause like vehicular manslaughter in the future.
No, he's probably looks like instead of like wax on wax off, he's like, oh, roll it and smoke it.
What's that shit?
Yeah,
roll it, pack it, fighter.
But I'm glad you said 4 out of 5 too. But now I'm scared. Alan, I hope you agree with us, man. We've agreed so far this whole show, but
totally won this movie. This movie sucks. It doesn't hold up. I already knew everything. I'm kid, dude. I went to karate school when I was a kid. Like I wanted.
Did everybody?
I stuck with it. Everyone did, bro. It was the 90s, man. Everyone went to.
It wasn't my choice though.
Whose choice? It wasn't my choice either, honestly.
Why did they all make us want to be confident?
Because karate was big in the 90s.
Because you guys probably had big mouths. Like, you're going to need some skills to go with that shit.
Probably.
I wish I stuck with it, though. I really wish I stuck with it.
This kid's going to get fatality if I don't get him something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, again, this is it's why I love sports movies, because it's focusing on the characters, and it's focusing on growth, and it's focusing on lessons that's like it has almost nothing to do with the sport. It has a lot to do with like, the character and the motivation. It's like the sport is just a goal to build up to, but the rest of it is trying to essentially train you as a person. And that's why I like a lot of these, because a lot of these sports movies aren't like, especially again with Rocky 1, it's not about like, oh, we got to keep training this dude to beat the thing. It's like, no, he's trying to figure out how to be a man. He thinks, winning is being a man. It's like, no, he just wants to continue, especially with this. Like, he thinks, oh, I got to beat up everyone to be a man. It's like, no, you need to absorb all these skills. You need to learn to get discipline. Standing up for yourself is enough. You don't always have to win as long as you're showcasing you're willing to fight for yourself. And I really, really fucking enjoyed that. And then again, watching all the kung fu fighting, like, yeah, the karate, fucking love that shit. It's my jam. Watching two people, like, to me, watching a choreographed fight scene is a mix of, it's an intense conversation and an intense chess match. Because you're seeing both people talking their way to a conclusion, to a final discussion, but you're also seeing how they have to use their intelligence and their skills and everything they've learned throughout the movie to try to solve this problem right now, like a chess match. And just seeing how they're doing it, seeing the environment, seeing them moving. Like, they're doing moves right now where I also think, like Gon just said, they just learned karate and said, fucking have fun. Because they're, like, bouncing off each other. They're, like, at one point, Dan's rolling on the ground and shit. I'm like, I don't know how they fucking did some of this shit.
Hell, at one point, Johnny does a fucking Mortal Kombat jump up backflip.
Yeah, pretty
and it's
much.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's a bunch of white people doing karate. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that does kind of suck. And it's like, okay, we have to have the Asian mentor. It's a trope that went on forever. But to answer a bunch of Nick's questions, it's like, even though we've seen this parody a million times, seeing the original hits a little different, because the parodies are like, you had to have seen the original for you to understand the parody. But going back and watching where it all started from, it's like the whole Luke, Luke, I am your father type thing of how everyone just butchered that line because he really says something completely different. Seeing the original, it's like, oh, so that's like, you wouldn't, like, audiences in the 80s would have no idea why the fuck he's waxing at all. Now it's like, oh, we know why because of this, but seeing him do it right away and seeing how fast he learned, I'm like, this is really, really well done, especially seeing the final karate tournament. I'm like, oh, this is intense because they play the right music. They managed to get the emotional moments. He's getting his ass kicked like a lot, but he's still able to continue. So yeah, this is a 4 out of 5 easily. I fucking love the hell out of it.
I am so surprised. We were literally all 4 out of 5. That's fucking awesome.
Again, if we ever watch Rocky, are we gonna give anything less than a 4? Rocky's amazing.
Who knows? Because Rocky 3, man, is some.
It's my favorite Rocky.
It was my favorite before, but I've grown a better love for Rocky 4. I used to really dislike Rocky 5. Now I kind of love it. I don't know. I can't talk shit about Rocky.
I'll tell my rating for Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. It is the highest rating I could give it. It is my favorite fucking Rocky movie ever. Nothing will ever.
Ivan Drago. Oh, dude, the Apollo shit. I've never like. nearly cried at a sports movie ever. That was like, I was like, holy shit, that was fucked up.
The reason I love Rocky 3 so much is because it's my favorite character trope, because it's the character that he finally got everything that he wanted, but he realized that's not what he wants. And he's like, because he's miserable in Rocky 3. He's a millionaire. He's the world wrestling champion, but he doesn't give a fuck about that stuff. He actually wants to be just fighting in the ring against people that push him. So he has everything, and he starts to lose that stuff, and that's what really pushes him up. His enemy becomes his trainer. Adrian comes in and helps him out. I'm like, everything fires on all cylinders. I love that movie.
Yeah, but we're gonna get the fuck out of here though, man. It's late as fuck. I am so tired. Look at these guys.
Look at these 12:30. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though, man. Metropolis is not around, but the Illuminati podcast will be recording very, very soon, and they'll be doing their stuff. You can find them when you can. When we have that information, we'll definitely let you know. But I am gonna rush out of here because another thing too is I gotta fucking pee. So the music is playing. I had fun. Thank you so much, Alan and Ganj, for being here. Appreciate that. And also, Lucero, and all you guys, Mauricio, Ryan, Gene, all you people, thank you so much for the support you're giving us as far as the bounties go and things like that, too. Now, go enjoy Double Toasted. Hopefully, they passed the beginning of the show and got into reviews. Go enjoy yourselves. Peace out. Stay toasty. Big farts. It won't let me end the stream. Okay, there we go. Big farts.
We're here for another 2 hours. Okay, Rocky.
And just remember, we'll break you.
We'll break you. Get out of here.
He dies.
If you could change, I can change.
Yeah, how do you like that movie, Ganja?